Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Gerrid Doaks, who's a running back out of Cincinnati. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a great day. So tell me about you, man. How's your day been? I mean, what are you up to these days?
Just up here out in Florida training, just getting ready for pro day.
Great. So I know I let us in there a little bit, but I mean, before we get going with all that in the future, bring us up to speed a little bit. I mean, tell me like just a brief history of your career, if you don't mind.
I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. Played running back my senior year. My junior year, got recruited by Cincinnati by Blake Rowland, who was the receivers coach at the time. And I decided to commit going into my senior year. And when I got to Cincinnati, Tommy Tuberville was the head coach my freshman year. And after that first year, he had left, and Luke Fickell came in and switched the whole culture around, and then played 4 years under Luke Fickell. Now I'm here.
Great. So I mean, were you recruited maybe as a receiver then? I mean, is that kind of how that was at the time, or what was the
I
what was
was
the take on
more.
that?
I was more. It was a running back. I was recruited as running back, but
Okay.
they looked at me as like an athlete.
Now I was just thinking because you said like the guy that recruited you was a receivers coach. I was just sitting there thinking it's
Yeah.
interesting because obviously people get converted like
Mhm.
on and off. So Jared, what do you think is like I don't know maybe one of your best attributes or best things you bring to the game?
I'm a strong runner, one cut downhill. I'm gonna get yards no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, definitely big physical back, 6 foot, almost 230 pounds. I mean, people expect you to be that between the tackles kind of bruising runner, which I know that, if you turn on the tape, that's more or less what you see.
Yeah.
That isn't necessarily to say that you don't have some speed to actually take off, but,
Mhm.
I think that that's what a lot of people expect, bigger backs to be.
Yeah.
But what kind of running back do you feel like you would be at the next level? I mean, would you still be that? I mean, what kind of role do you feel like you would fit in at the NFL
I feel like I can fit in. I can be any type of running back you need me to be. A lot of people kind of second guess my speed, but I can run. There's film out there that shows that I can run, and yeah, like I said, I feel like I can be any type of back.
Great. So, I mean, is there maybe a player in the league that either you could compare yourself to, or even just, I don't know, if you have like a role model that you've been looking up to like your whole life at that running back position? So, either compare yourself to somebody or give me, maybe that one guy that you've been looking up to forever.
I'll say I feel like I'm real similar to how Adrian Peterson runs. Powerful, real strong, and if he gets some space, he's gonna break out.
Well, I mean, obviously, you're talking about Adrian Peterson, a guy that is superhuman. I mean, the guy went down with two knee injuries, came back from that, and is still running hard. So has had a great career, very well respected running back. Obviously, a few years back, I mean, you were hung up a little bit. I mean, you yourself had a knee injury.
Mhm.
In 2018. Walk me through that experience for you. I mean, and maybe how you're doing these days, on that knee.
Uh, Actually, 2018, that was my groin. That was my sports. I had a sports hernia.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was abdomen. So it sit me out the whole year. It was just one of them things that, you know, you try to fight through and it just doesn't get better. So I had to go ahead and get that fixed up and sit out that year.
All right. So I had my notes wrong there. So I mean, you had a sports hernia.
Mhm.
So So everything's all good with that. That's not really,
Yeah,
affecting you these days.
yeah, I'm fine, 100%.
Okay, great. So, obviously right now, I mean, really the next thing in line for you is going to end up being that pro day so that you can show people that, you're not being held back by anything and that you, again, like you said, you got some speed.
Mhm.
When is your pro day?
March 31st.
Okay. So, do you have any goals for that pro day? Like anything that you're trying to show people or attain?
From what I'm told, people are, like I said, second guessing my speed. So my goal for the 40 is under a 4.5 flat, and vert. I feel like I can get over at 37 for sure.
Well,
Those were
Well, I mean, I kind of expect you to get a decent vertical. I mean, just going back to your days in high school, I mean, you were a high jumper in high
yeah.
school, doing very well, getting like over like 6 foot 2 inches, I think is what I have in my notes.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I feel like that vertical is going to be no problem at all for you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you've tested that yet, but I mean, I'm pretty confident that you can get over 36 easy. It's the extra after that that I feel
Right.
like a lot of people are just kind of curious about. So where are you training right now? Where are you training, preparing yourself for this pro day?
I'm up at XPE in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Great. So obviously a lot of people down in Fort Lauderdale, in Florida, trying to prepare for this upcoming draft. But let's just step back a little bit and show people about a couple of moments of your career. Um, so the question that I have for you is, um, give me an instance where you studied all week long to prepare for an opponent,
Mhm.
and it really played off. Really played out very well for you in a game time situation. So you studied for that opponent, and it really did well. Give me an example of that.
I'd say probably my best example is this past year against Houston. They show on film that they was like really fast on defense. So my biggest my biggest thing was to know what all types of blitzes they would bring in and how they lined up. So it paid off by the first drive. They try to bring both the Mike and Will backer, and so my line picked them up, and I knew exactly where to go and busted out for a 70-yard run in the first possession, and that kind of set the momentum for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, this year was fantastic for Cincinnati. Let's just go ahead and say it. I mean, completely disrespected in the polls. That's just how it goes. I mean, if you're not a Power Five, you just get disrespected. That's just kind of what you get. So I was certainly pulling for you guys toward the end there to try and get a nod
You
in
know?
that championship, but I think it's rigged. But we don't have to tell anybody that.
Yeah.
But no, fantastic year. A lot of great talent there, for Cincinnati. So just wanted to maybe, I don't know, do you have maybe your most memorable moment of your career? Was it during this year or any other time? Like your biggest highlight that people need to put on film to see you do your stuff.
Um, I feel like 2 years ago against Tulsa, it was a homecoming game. I scored 3 touchdowns, and yeah, I feel like that was just my most memorable moment, memorable game
Great. So
overall.
I mean, I think the other aspect about you that a lot of people forget is this year you were used a little bit more in the passing game.
Mhm.
Talk to me a little bit about that and your growth as a running back over the years.
Uh, I mean, as a running back, I've always been able to catch the ball, but in certain schemes, the running back isn't used as much. So with all the talent we had on our team, we used our offense to our fullest potential. And we actually got the running backs out into more pass concepts, and it paid off.
Right. I mean, definitely paid off. I mean, you guys, I mean, probably have one of the better quarterbacks in college football.
Yeah.
Again, totally disrespected, but I mean, again, one of the better, quarterbacks in college football, and a lot of players are coming back for the Bearcats, man. I mean, I keep thinking, you know, honestly, you could have come back if you wanted to. I mean, everybody was given that option of staying if they wanted to. I mean, um, you could have come back and maybe even competed for like a national title. What went into your decision of actually coming out this year, declaring for the draft?
Just one of them things where, being in college for 5 years, you kind of, it's that time to take the next step, you know. So it was just one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely there with you. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I felt like I was in college for too long. You know, it took me a few years to get one degree, and then a few more years to get another. So, yeah, it gets kind of old, and you're getting a little old too. I mean, you want to, get yourself out there and see if you can make it in the pros. So, I feel like you have a darn good shot. I mean, you're on our big board as a draftable player. I mean, I do feel like you do have that potential. But I don't know. Let's just kind of tell those people the kind of player, the kind of person you are outside of football. Tell me just a little bit about yourself. What did you do there as a student? Let's start with that. I mean, what did you get your degree in?
I got my degree in criminal justice with a minor sports administration.
Great. So, what do you feel it was like your, I don't know, maybe your most difficult class in college?
I'll say probably criminal law.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of things to remember, a lot of projects, presentations.
Gotcha. But you got through it.
Yeah.
You got your degree. So I mean, check. I mean, you got that
Right.
off, out of the way. So you can say, yes, I got my bachelor's. Fantastic.
Hmm.
And you said you also got a minor. So,
Yeah.
hey, you got something to work with. I mean, hopefully that'll, get you somewhere. Anything else about yourself you want to share? Any hobbies, interests, or anything about you that, scouts and fans need to know about you?
Uh, like off the field, I'm pretty big in the social media world. TikTok. I blew up pretty well on TikTok. I just started a YouTube channel, so if y'all want to go subscribe to that, it's just Gerrid Doaks, my name. But yeah, I'm pretty involved in the social media aspect.
All right, so what kind of stuff's on this YouTube channel, man? Because I mean, I need to make sure that this is legit stuff that people can watch. I mean, is it PG or what? What we
Yeah,
got going?
it's PG for sure. It's more. I started it before I headed down to Florida to train. It's more of like a path to the draft type vlogs. You
Okay,
know.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds fun. I mean, you're just kind of so people could share in your journey there,
Yeah.
which is great. Uh, so Gerrid, yeah, I was just going to ask you, if you could give your younger self just a little bit of advice to prepare him for like the next 4 or 5 years. I mean, go back in time and talk to your high school self. What
Mhm.
sort of advice would you give him?
I would say don't worry about what the next person's doing. Just focus on yourself because you can only control what you can control. Just make sure you're out working yourself every day just to be the best.
Great. Um, Here's about the time in the interview where I just kind of, take a back seat, let you, have the opportunity to give people shout outs. Not too many, but I mean, obviously, been a lot of people that have helped get you to where you are today. So um, go ahead, shout out, family, friends, coaches, teammates, anybody that you feel like deserves a little bit more love.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, shout out my family. They've been my number one supporters. And then literally every coach that's helped me up to this point, I can't, it's too many to say specific names. And then lastly, the running back room at Cincinnati right now, I better watch out for them next year. It's a good room.
Well, so I mean, who's the guy there? Who's going to be taking over? I mean, is it going to be a collective unit, or is it going to be like
Yeah.
one dude that's just going to
Nah,
blow up?
it's not just one. It's Jerome Ford, Ryan Montgomery, Charles McClelland, Ethan Wright, Michael Cope, the whole room.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys there on that team on the offense and defensive side
Yeah.
People definitely need to, if you turn on Cincinnati Bearcat football, what was it? You guys won 9 games last year. So I mean, uh, all those games are great. So definitely, you know, next year is going to be one heck of a year for you guys.
Right.
So as we wrap up, I always ask people the why question. Give me your why. Why do you play football? Why did you start playing football? And just share your motivation as a player.
My why, football is just something I grew up around. My dad played football. His dad played football. It's just something that's been in the family. And, it's something that I began to love. Liking football and loving football is something completely different. It's when you actually wake up every day looking forward to playing the game of football, that's what I got. So, that's really my why. And it's helped open opportunities like this.
So what do you like the most about football? Is it the violent nature? Is it the camaraderie? Your teammates, is it winning? What do you like so much about football?
I say winning, of course, but like the bond you get with your teammates, it becomes more of a brotherhood. And like these are the guys you hang with more and more off the field too. So it's just all fun, on and off the field.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, obviously you're part of it's kind of like your family outside of your family. I mean,
Yeah.
and you put your life on the line truly when you go out there and play for them with them. Final question, final moment is I want you to give your pitch to all those teams in the NFL as to why they need to draft you, sign you. What kind of teammate would they be getting if they took a chance
Well, of course I'm a hard worker, I'm a smart football player, and I'm not one of those players that's looking to be a superstar and want all the credit. I'm just ready to be on a team and be a great teammate and do whatever it takes to help the team achieve success. I'm willing to play special teams like I did as a starter this year and previous years at Cincinnati. I'm willing to do anything. So
what did you do on special teams there? Did you? I mean, you were like a returner, were you? I mean,
I was right guard on punt.
okay, so I mean, obviously, if you're one of those guys that's drafted, I mean, yeah, you'll probably start out there for a little bit. I mean, there have been several running backs more or less your size that are out there doing loads of different things on special teams. So you could certainly start out in doing that. But I mean, I feel like again, people need to acknowledge the fact that you are a downhill runner with a lot of power. And you figure in a goal line situation, like if I got like maybe a smaller back that's taking the load of the carries, I'm just going to say, hey, put Gerrid in there because he'll probably be able to punch it in there for us. So
Exactly.
that's kind of how I would use you because you figure these days, I mean, it's all running back by committee anyways. So got to get your foot in the door there, be that power back for some team there in the NFL, which I feel like some team's going to give you that opportunity. So,
Yeah.
Gerrid, thanks for your time. Appreciate everything and wish you best of luck moving forward, bud.
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. Again, this is Gerrid Doaks, running back out of Cincinnati. Check him out.